Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the symposium, the second day of Princess Galyani Vadhana Institute of Music. And today, this session is the showcase of students, and we're going to talk about contextual studies, transition to students recital. And today, I'm hosting this session. My name is Apishai Chantana Khajonphung, and we have a wonderful moderator, Ajahn Thanisa,นะครับ. So she's here with us, and she has been collaborate and working with PGVIM with our students and many students project, and she has a lot of advice and many things to work with students. And may Ajahn Thanisa, would you like to say anything?
Sure. Thank you, Ajahn Apichai, for the introduction. And hi, everybody. My name is Thanisa, and this is my third year working with PGVIM. I'm a pianist myself, and I graduated from Oberlin Conservatory in the US, but at the same time, I was doing a lot of social issues projects. And I know you guys are the millennials who are asking a lot of questions about the world and how music can change the world. Music can communicate with our societies, and music can connect people together. So it's always great to come to PGVIM and see all of the great recital student projects. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the current work that all of you have been up to at this time, this uncertain times of the world, that you're making a lot of music at home, not being able to collaborate with a lot of people outside of your home. So thank you for all that you do in your musical life right now, even though it's difficult. And I see that Ajahn Jack is here too.
Yes, I'm sorry, my computer had problems and I had to wait for it to relaunch again. So here I am. Sorry. Apologize.
It's good to see you. Sawadee ka.
Good to see you, Jack. And long time no see.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, and so we are very honored to have you with us today and seeing our students' progress on the courses that we are running at PGVIM.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and today, as I mentioned, that we are going to talk about the contextual studies. So these courses, Ajahn Anotai and I have been developed and as a pathway to the student recital. And so today we are going to talk about these courses, and I'm going to explain some elements that putting into each contextual studies. So now, and may I begin this session? Okay, I share the screen a bit. So you all see the presentation? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, contextual study, there are for the first 2 years. We have these courses is a continued courses from the first semester to the second semester of fourth year. So it's kind of like 8 courses tied together for each semester. So contextual study is in the first 2 years in 1, 2, 3, 4, and so each one we have different focus to work on. So yes, the term contextual studies has derived from the required skill outside the musical context, able to fulfill the necessity of recital preparation, particularly at PGVIM. So they are obligatory courses toward the students' recital. So I may begin with contextual study 1. So beginning with the contextual study 1, the course is designed to encourage students to think efficiently. So we think that humans are composed of 3 main elements, so which are body and brain and body. Second is mind, and the third is spirit. The brain functions mostly in cognitive thinking and controls the body, and mind functions as emotional aspect, which can also affect the brain, and the spirit is something beyond and very individual. So when we play music, the aforementioned 3 parts are working accordingly, in which 3 of them are inside the body. However, as an audience, we appreciate the music from external senses, especially eyes and ears. So to create such an effective result on music performance, these 3 components should be cultivated, which are actually the main source of those impressive outputs. So in addition to sharpen those senses, our life, so coincidentally, will be developed as well. So not merely just the music skill. So therefore, this is one of the main points of the course that points towards the enhancement of life through music. So to develop students' thinking process, their awareness of mind and body, and be a companion to their spirit. So the activities we working in contextual study 1, so is repertoire hack and practicing strategies, body and mind awareness. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about repertoire hack here. So in these activities, so we encourage students to think outside of the box here. So normally that music sheet is printed in A4 paper, right? But why can't the music can be into another form of like paper? I mean, to have something that serves to the musical structure that the music have in that piece. So from a big picture to smaller structure to sentence and sentence to phrase. So students will cut their piece according to what they analyze. So they are encouraged to create their own version of their music sheet that is handily to understand. So both for the player and others. So if you can see in some picture, in some examples here, so student put some kind of windows or put some like decorate with some collage. So what they're feeling to that passage in the music. Okay, I will leave with contextual study 1 right here, and I may continue to the next one, contextual study 2, which will, this is the second semester, first year, second semester. And for the contextual study 2, the aim for this course is for students to comprehend and be able to speak out. The outcome project will be video production, in which students will create a video clip presenting their selected piece. So the project is divided into 2 sections, which are content preparation and video production. Yeah. So in the content preparation, there are 3 parts. So first is literature review, and the second is repertoire and script writing. Okay. So in the literature review, so we are working on the composer life and the piece history. So we as a teacher and student brainstorm the question together on what they want to know about their chosen composers, apart from general questions such as how the composer live and work or being influenced from whom, so we read some daily issues that surround our contemporary society, such as composer taste of love, or political direction, or how composers get through their daily hindrance or obstacles. So we have a kind of working sheet that you might see on the right side here. So in one question, so each student has to find 3 answers to each question, and from different sources. So it's kind of, we are working into a little bit of making a research, but very small one. And at last, when students got the answer, they summarize into their own sentence below. And now with the repertoire, so they have, each student works on each repertoire, and so they have to know the structure, so they can explain it understandingly to others. And of course, that the video production cannot be long, it's quite short, so they have to choose some things like concentration point to work on a piece, so they can have something that they can focus and give a little more detail to it. So on the right side, you might see some topics that students can choose, like form analysis, piece history, techniques. So this depends on the student selected repertoire to work on. So some piece might suit to like piece history, some piece might suit with the harmony and composition. So this is depends and is very is independent for student to choose. And yeah, so I'll go to the script writing. So when the student got every information, when it's ready, so they will need to write the script. So script is generally the timeline of the whole presentation, including the duration of each music played, the pictures used, and the duration and order of each speech. So yeah, it's on the right side, it's in Thai, but so you can see they put like, okay, the music play for 20 seconds for with what piece, and they're going to speak for 1.5 minutes of what, and the picture will show up, okay, for something like this. So they have like, they know the timeline, what they are doing. Okay, so now they finish their first part. Now first is content preparation, they finish that. Now they go to the production. So now they have to make the video. So I would describe this a little bit, because prior to the COVID-19 situation, so when students finish with the script and they prepare with performance and the script, so we have a technical crew to work with the students. So we have like video camera technician and sound recording technicians, and so students just come with the memorize the script and the instrument, and we are ready to make the production for them. But yeah, now when the situation changed, so and we cannot get into the school, so we change the platform of doing this, and so video production is part of the course as well for the student to work with. And we give the guidance on picture sound from the professional teams to give them guidance on this. And also each student is encouraged to put their own style to make a video. And okay, and they have made a very wonderful work, and we are surprisingly that we are surprised of how good they can do with their video production, and they film it like at home by themselves. And yeah, I think this also a skill that is needed now in current time, that the video production skill and recording skill is very necessary now for as a musician in today's society. Okay, so I'm speak for quite long now, so I will give this screen to our representative or our candidates. From now they are in the second year, but the thing that they work on, they're going to show today is the work that they did when they was in the first year. Okay, so we have 3 candidates. So the first is Nirada Manoshat. She works with Mozart Rondo in D for flute, and it's very attractive that she talking about this piece, and she going around the city, have a sightseeing together and working on this piece. So we can see it's very fun to watch and very nice. And the second is Suparang Sutarit. She worked with Batok Romanian folk dance, and she talking about peace history, and she's digging into music ethnology a bit, and she presented this very wonderfully. And the last one is from Panuwat Latanakun, and he's major in classical guitar, and he talking about practicing strategy. And I would like to introduce that he has a very keen video technical editing. So everybody has some character and very distinctive in some point. So I would give this screen to these 3 candidates, please.
Thank you for Ajahn Koh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nirada Manoshat, second year flute student. My project is a video named An Interpretation of Flute Rondo in D Major by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Wandering Along the Bangkok Street, my hometown. This video was made for everyone, either classical musician or not, to get to know this song with fun and joy. About the process, I choose this repertoire because every measure sounds lovely to me, and it also has a very interesting musical form. I had fun learning and interpreting this song a lot, so I created this project to make others in love with this song as I am. About the concept, this was made in the concept of easy to understand and have fun watching. It's like I took everyone to travel with me and listen to me telling an interesting story. Like we are really traveling together, whereas in reality, most of us are staying at home because of the pandemic. I wish this project can reduce the audience's stress more or less. About the tools I use in this project, I use Zoom H2 handy recorder, which I borrow from teacher JD for the sound recording, and my smartphone iPhone 6 for the video recording and pictures taking. Program Reaper for sound editing, and Wondershare Filmora for combine everything together. What are in this video? These are 4 sections I divided. First, who is Mozart? Composer history, of course. Second, what is Rondo in D major? I will talk about a little of form analysis and the story about the song's name. Third, interpretation, and the last one, technical tips about playing. On the next slide is going to be the preview of my work. The almost full version of this video is in the Facebook group Contextual Studies 2, PGVIM 07. There is other students project as well, all of my friends' work. You can search it in the Facebook if you would like to. For now, please enjoy my video. Thank you.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a
วูฟกังอามาเดอุสโมซาร์ทเรานิยามชายคนนี้ว่าเป็นนักประพันธ์ที่มีความอัจฉริยะมีชื่อเสียงโด่งดังก้องโลกแล้วก็เป็นที่รู้จักมาจนถึงปัจจุบันถามว่าอัจฉริยะแค่ไหนก็ตอบเลยว่าเขาแต่งเพลงเองได้ตั้งแต่4 ขวบเลยนะคือโมซาร์ทเติบโตมาในครอบครัวนักดนตรีใช่ไหมตอน3 ขวบก็คือไปยืนดูพ่อเล่นฮาร์ปซีคอร์ดแล้วพอ4 ขวบก็แต่งเพลงเองได้เลยโดยที่โมซาร์ทเป็นคนแต่งแล้วพ่อของเขาเลโอโปลด์โมซาร์ทก็เป็นคนจดบันทึกโน้ตให้แล้วก็มีผลงานมาเรื่อยๆตอน7 ขวบ8 ขวบแล้วที่พีคที่สุดสำหรับเราก็คืออายุ12 ขวบเขาแต่งโอเปร่าเรื่องแรกในชีวิตได้แล้วนะแล้วก็มีผลงานรวมๆมาตลอดชีวิตอีกกว่า700 ชิ้นผลงานของโมซาร์ทที่เราอยากแนะนำให้ไปดูก็คือโอเปร่าเรื่อง The Magic Flute ทุกคนน่าจะเคยได้ยินอะไรที่มันร้องว่าแบบใช่ไหมคือมันมาจากเรื่องนี้เนี่ยแหละเว้ย The Magic Flute เนี่ยแล้วก็ท่อนเมื่อกี้ร้องด้วยตัวละครตัวร้ายชื่อ Queen of the Night สนุกมากใน YouTube มีเต็มเลยลองไปหาชมกันได้นะคะ
Sick of all the issues, and I don't wanna hate you. We never get along, but here we are. Those tiptoes you watch me.
เล่าก่อนว่าในหลายร้อยปีที่แล้วในประเทศโซนยุโรปคอมโพเซอร์เขามักจะตั้งชื่อเพลงกันด้วยฟอร์มเพลงกับคีย์ของเพลงกันเพื่อไม่ให้เกิดการสับสนแล้วก็จำได้ง่ายเพราะคอมโพเซอร์คนนึงเขาก็แต่งเพลงกันหลายร้อยหลายพันเพลงใช่ป่ะอย่างโมซาร์ทก็700 กว่าเพลงแล้วถ้าทุกเพลงของโมซาร์ทมีชื่อเฉพาะมันก็น่าจะจำยากอยู่พอสมควรนะเช่นเพลงหมูเพลงไก่อย่างเงี้ยพอเวลาผ่านไปแบบหลายๆปีเข้าเราก็จะลืมแล้วว่าเพลงหมูเพลงไก่มันหน้าตายังไงวะมันแต่งขึ้นเพื่อใครย้อนกลับไปที่คำถามของเราว่าอะไรคือ Rondo in D ใช่ไหมฟังจากที่เราเล่าก็น่าจะรู้แล้วแหละ Rondo ก็คือฟอร์มเพลงส่วน D major ก็คือเพลงนี้อยู่ในคีย์ D major นะแล้วก็ for flute and piano ก็คือเพลงนี้แต่งขึ้นเพื่อให้เครื่องฟลุตกับเปียโนนะเพลงนี้โมซาร์ทใช้ชื่อแค่ว่า Rondo ใช่ไหมแต่ฟอร์มจริงๆที่ใช้ในเพลงคือ Sonata Rondo ซึ่งคุณโมซาร์ทเขาคิดขึ้นมาเองด้วยนะนี่คือฟอร์ม Rondo ใช่ไหมที่เราคุยกันเมื่อกี้และนี่คือฟอร์ม Sonata มันจะประกอบไปด้วยท่อนเปิดแล้วก็ท่อนที่เอาธีมจากท่อนเปิดมาพัฒนาอีกทีแล้วก็ท่อนจบที่เป็นการสรุปจุดเด่นของเพลงนี้แล้วคุณโมซาร์ทก็เอามารวมกันปึ้งกลายเป็น Sonata Rondo ฟังดูมีอะไรเยอะแยะเต็มไปหมดเลยเนาะแต่จริงๆเพลงนี้สั้นมากมีแค่182 ห้องเองเล่นแค่ 5-7 นาทีก็จบแล้วเพลงนี้มันสั้นแต่ว่ามันมีหลายท่อนมากๆใช่ไหมจากที่เรากล่าวไปข้างต้นแล้วแต่ละท่อนเนี่ยก็มีมูดมีคาแรคเตอร์ที่แตกต่างกันออกไปอาจารย์เมเจอร์ของเราแนะนำว่าตอนเล่นให้นึกถึงละครเวทีหรือไม่ก็การ์ตูนดิสนีย์ไปด้วยการ์ตูนดิสนีย์ที่มันไม่ได้มีคนพากย์มีแค่ตัวการ์ตูนกับดนตรีประกอบที่ตัวละครมันจะเยอะแล้วก็แวบไปแวบมาทำนู่นทำนี่แล้วก็เดินเรื่องเร็วๆเสริมสร้างจินตนาการก่อนที่จะไปเล่นกันเราขอเล่าก่อนว่าที่จริงเพลงนี้ตอนแรกโมซาร์ทแต่งมาให้ไวโอลินอยู่ในคีย์ C แล้วก็หลังจากนั้นก็ถูกดัดแปลงปรับเปลี่ยนคีย์ดัดนู่นดัดนี่นิดหน่อยจนกลายมาเป็นเวอร์ชันสำหรับฟลูตเล่นคงจะน่าสนใจอยู่ไม่น้อยถ้าตอนเล่นเราลองนึกถึงเสียงไวโอลินไปด้วยโน้ตที่เราใช้เป็นอีดิชั่นของชองเบียร์คลัมพาวซึ่งข้างบนตรงนี้จะเขียนว่า Allegretto Grazioso เป็นภาษาอิตาเลียนแปลว่าค่อนข้างเร็วและสง่างามอาจจะเพิ่มไวบราโตเข้าไปหรือไม่ก็เล่นโน้ตให้ขาดออกจากกันในส่วนที่เขาต้องการสตากาโตจริงๆหลักๆของเพลงนี้คือเราต้องเล่นคาแรคเตอร์ของแต่ละท่อนออกมาให้ชัดเจนเช่นท่อนไหนเป็นเปียโนท่อนไหนเป็นฟอร์เต้ตรงไหนดอลเช่ตรงไหนดิมมิ่งต้องซ้อมมาเยอะๆเลยเพื่อที่จะเล่นเพลงนี้ได้เป็นอย่างดีก็คือดับเบิลทังกิ้งตะกะตะกะตาทะกะตะกะทาทุกุทุกุทูอะไรก็ว่าไปแล้วก็สเกล D major กับสเกล A major ที่เป็นคอร์ด1กับคอร์ด5ของเพลงนี้เนาะแล้วก็ซ้อมคู่3มาด้วยเพราะว่าเพลงนี้เกิดการไล่สเกลขึ้นเยอะมากคร่าวๆก็ประมาณนี้แหละค่ะสู้ๆนะคะชาวฟลูตทุกคน
Thank you for watching ค่ะ
So thank you, Nirata, for the presentation. I really enjoy the combination between your classical music interpretation and introduction with the lifestyles in Bangkok, how it's looking now. I do have one question, and it's not a serious question at all. So of course, Mozart is one of the very talented composers that we all study. And he started young, and he was very good from a very young age. I was wondering, in your views today, we see a lot of very young talents on TikTok, on Instagram. We see people with such amazing skills. What are some of the amazing skills, whether musical or not, that you think is like really cool, that's like the Mozart of today's world? You can take some time to think, because that's a little bit hard now, I'm realizing.
Name is Boa. She can dance ballet, jazz, and anything that's a dance. And she can sing too, and she a very well English speaker. She is very good at anything at a young age. I think she is the Mozart of nowadays.
Thank you. And do you think having social media is a good thing for her, so that she can show her work every now and then? Like she can have a performance every day or something, right?
Yeah, she dances every day on her Instagram.
Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and great presentation. Well done.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
So if you have time, you can look for the full version of her video. So I think she cut many parts that she get us to sightseeing around her nearby. But but anyway, it's very good now. So we move to the second representative. Okay, ครับ สุภารางค์ครับผม
Thank you, Janko. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Suparang Satirit, a second-year student from piano department. My video's title is Batok, Romanian folk dance number 5 and 6. In the topics of peace history, my video is about the story of early ethnomusicology through Batok's work and the process of collecting folk tunes and how it started back then. And so next, I would like to talk about my video making process. About this repertoire, it was a part of my major skills last semester. The Romanian dance is a set of folk dance. The tune is from Romania's rural area. It was recorded, written into piano score, and then transcribed into orchestral version later. And briefly about Bela Bartok. As we know, he is a Hungarian composer, a pianist, a piano teacher, an important figure of ethnomusicology, and also a botanist. He and Kodile had been working on Hungarian folk songs by researching and collecting tunes. I would like to say that their works is somehow lay as the foundation of today's ethnomusicology videos in our present time. So when my major teacher mentioned about Bartok, his background and his work in this area, I feel that it was very fascinating. Behind every note that we play, there are a lot more story behind it. And I think the stories of Bartok's journey is quite interesting. So I choose it to do my video. And about my video concept, when I first met a word, ethnomusicology, it sounds to me like a very big word. So I think I would like to make it as simple as it could be. I want my audience to explore and get to know Bartók and his work in a very easy way to understand. So next, I would like to show you a part of my videos. So please enjoy. ที่จริงแล้วในช่วงเวลานั้นดนตรีสไตล์ฮังการีได้ปรากฏอยู่ในผลงานของนักประพันธ์ชื่อดังอย่างบรามส์และลิสต์มาก่อนแล้วไม่ว่าจะเป็น Hungarian Dance หรือ Hungarian Rhapsody แต่ด้วยความที่ตัวลิสต์เองเกิดที่ฮังการีก็จริงแต่เขาใช้เวลาส่วนมากในพื้นที่อื่นสไตล์ที่ถ่ายทอดออกมาเรียกว่ายิปซีจริงๆแล้วเป็นเพียงดนตรีฮังการีชนิดหนึ่งที่แตกแขนงออกมาแต่มันถูกเข้าใจผิดว่าเป็นลักษณะหลักๆของดนตรีฮังการีซึ่งบาท็อกและเพื่อนของเขาโซตานโคไดเป็นหนึ่งในคนที่ทราบดีถึงปัญหานี้และนั่นจึงทำให้การศึกษาทำนองเพลงพื้นบ้านดั้งเดิมฮังการีได้เริ่มต้นขึ้นค่ะหากเราต้องการศึกษาอัตลักษณ์เฉพาะถิ่นใดการลงไปในท้องที่นั้นๆย่อมเป็นหนทางที่ดีที่จะได้เข้าถึงสิ่งที่เป็นอยู่จริงๆเพราะอย่างนั้นบาท็อกโคไดและคณะของเขาจึงได้เดินทางไปยังแถบชนบทในโรมาเนียเพื่อเก็บตัวอย่างทำนองเพลงพื้นบ้านในสถานที่จริงการลงพื้นที่เช่นนี้ปัจจุบันนักมนุษยดนตรีวิทยาก็ยังคงทำกันอยู่แต่สิ่งที่เปลี่ยนไปตามกาลเวลานั้นคงเป็นแง่ของการเดินทางที่สะดวกรวดเร็วมากยิ่งขึ้นเทคโนโลยีที่นำมาใช้เป็นส่วนหนึ่งของการทำงานบันทึกภาพและเสียงก็พัฒนาไปอย่างก้าวกระโดดเช่นกันนั่นทำให้ได้ตัวงานที่มีคุณภาพและยังช่วยประหยัดเวลามากขึ้นอีกด้วยแต่สิ่งที่พวกเขายังคงเก็บรักษาไว้อยู่คือหลักการทำงานลงพื้นที่ที่บาท็อกเป็นคนวางรากฐานเอาไว้ขั้นตอนและองค์ประกอบที่ต้องคำนึงถึงในเบื้องต้นจะมีอะไรบ้างนั้นเราจะมาลองดูคอนเซ็ปต์คร่าวๆของการทำงานลงพื้นที่กันค่ะก่อนที่จะเริ่มงานในพื้นที่จริงแน่นอนว่าเราจำเป็นต้องมีการวางแผนก่อนสิ่งแรกเลยที่เป็นจุดเริ่มต้นคือการตั้งคำถามว่าเราอยากรู้อะไรคำถามนั้นต้องมีความเหมาะสมและถูกต้องตามจริยธรรมไม่ถามในสิ่งที่ทำร้ายผู้ตอบหรือแม้แต่ตัวผู้ถามเองก็ด้วยจากนั้นจึงถามตัวเองว่าเพราะอะไรวัตถุประสงค์ในการศึกษาเรื่องนี้ทำไปทำไมหากมีเป้าหมายและเหตุผลที่ชัดเจนก็จะได้กำหนดทิศทางในการทำงานได้ดียิ่งขึ้นเมื่อมาลงพื้นที่จริงแล้วจะเข้าสู่กระบวนการทำงานตามแผนที่วางไว้ไม่ใช่แค่จดบันทึกเก็บภาพเสียงหรือวิดีโอในขั้นตอนการเก็บตัวอย่างแต่หมายรวมไปถึงการลงไปพูดคุยกับผู้คนในชุมชนปรากฏการณ์ของดนตรีทำอะไรกับคนบ้างคอยสังเกตบริบทรอบข้างหาทั้งความจริงเชิงประจักษ์และมุมมองที่หลากหลายรอบด้านระหว่างนั้นต้องคอยจดบันทึกสังเกตการร่วมด้วยเพื่อให้ข้อมูลที่ได้มาสามารถตรวจสอบได้แต่ถึงจะได้ข้อมูลมาแล้วแต่นั้นก็ยังไม่ใช่จุดสิ้นสุดของกระบวนการนะคะเราต้องนำข้อมูลมาตรวจสอบวิเคราะห์และที่สำคัญนำมาลดอคติทางวิชาการโดยการวิพากษ์ร่วมกับผู้อื่นเหมือนเป็นการแชร์คำตอบแลกเปลี่ยนทัศนะความคิดเห็นกันว่าทฤษฎีไหนดูสมเหตุสมผลหรือมีจุดน่าสงสัยบกพร่องอย่างไรหรือไม่เมื่อได้ผลสรุปเป็นที่แน่ชัดแล้วจึงมาถึงขั้นตอนสุดท้ายอย่างการนำเสนอผลการศึกษาซึ่งในสายงานสร้างสรรค์ในปัจจุบันก็ได้มีการประยุกต์ใหม่อยู่ตลอดเวลาอย่างเช่นว่าประพันธ์บทเพลงขึ้นมาใหม่เสียเลยหรือจัดเป็นการแสดงดนตรีแบบสื่อผสมเผยแพร่ผ่านทางออนไลน์แพลตฟอร์มอย่างโซเชียลมีเดียต่างๆพูดได้ว่าการนำเสนอจริงๆแล้วมีขอบเขตที่กว้างจนสามารถทำได้หลายรูปแบบมากๆเลยค่ะข้อหนึ่งที่สำคัญไม่แพ้การศึกษาค้นคว้าข้อมูลในการลงพื้นที่คือการที่เราต้องตระหนักอยู่ตลอดว่าเราลงพื้นที่ต้องเข้าหาผู้คนด้วยความจริงใจคนในชุมชนไม่ใช่สิ่งของหรือวัตถุที่รอให้เราเข้าไปสำรวจแต่ต้องทีทเขาและเคารพเขาในฐานะเพื่อนมนุษย์อย่างเท่าเทียมด้วยค่ะหากย้อนกลับไปในช่วงเวลาของบาท็อกและโคไดแล้วก็การลงพื้นที่ของพวกเขาเป็นอย่างไรเราเห็นได้จากภาพของพวกเขาในโค้ทหนังสัตว์ตัวยาวและหมวกคลุมเดินทางไปตามแถบชนบทด้วยรถม้าใช้หีบเสียงของเอดิสันในการเก็บรวบรวมทำนองพื้นบ้านลงบนแว็กซ์ซิลินเดอร์ก่อนที่จะทรานสคริปต์มาและจัดประเภทของดนตรีแบ่งเป็นประเภทเก่าประเภทใหม่และประเภทกึ่งเก่าใหม่จากบันทึกของบาท็อกว่ากันว่าบาท็อกและโคไดอาจมีตัวอย่างเพลงที่ได้รวบรวมมามากกว่า10,000 บทเพลงกันเลยทีเดียวค่ะในด้านของการนำเสนอผลการศึกษาบาท็อกก็มีแนวคิดของการประพันธ์เพลงโดยใช้ทำนองเพลงพื้นบ้านเหล่านี้เป็นวัตถุดิบในจดหมายปีค.ศ. 1930เขาได้กล่าวเอาไว้ว่า ดนตรีฮังการีมีอิทธิพลต่อผลงานของเขามากกว่าดนตรีพื้นบ้านของชาติอื่นๆเสียอีกจะเห็นได้จากคาแรคเตอร์เฉพาะตัวของดนตรีฮังการีที่สอดแทรกผ่านโมทีฟซ่อนอยู่ในผลงานต่างๆของเขานะคะอย่างเช่นว่าใน Duke Bluebeard's Castle โอเปร่าเพลงเรื่องเดียวของเขาที่แต่งขึ้นในปีค.ศ. 1911 หรือจะเป็นอีกตัวอย่างหนึ่งที่ไม่พูดถึงคงไม่ได้เลยคือบทเพลงชุด Romanian Folk Dance ที่ยกมาแค่หมายเลข 5 และ 6 ในวันนี้เป็นผลงานที่มาจากทำนองเพลงพื้นบ้านแถบโรมาเนียที่มีชื่อเสียงมากที่สุดที่เรากำลังได้ยินคือเสียงที่บันทึกโดยหีบเสียงของเอดิสันเมื่อกว่า100 ปีที่แล้วบาท็อกได้นำเอาทำนองที่ว่านี้มานั่งถอดทรานสคริปต์มาเป็นโน้ตสำหรับเปียโนในปีค.ศ. 1915 ก่อนที่ต่อมาจะทำการเรียบเรียงให้สำหรับวงออร์เคสตราในปี 1917 ค่ะ Thank you for watching.
Okay, I do have a question. That's an excellent explanation of the process of your ethnomusicology research, though. So that's really great. And I think it can be applied to very many different fields, not just in music. You know, whatever you research, you want to actually get to know the subject and be fair to them. Now, the question is, what are some of the takeaways from your ethnomusicology research? Do you think you want to explore different communities? Music communities are not. So yeah, what are some of the future plans for you for this?
For me, I think it is very interesting. If I could use this a little knowledge, it's like intro to the ethnomusicology. Like if I could work on our community, the Thai music is also very interesting, and I feel like I know like very little about it. So maybe in the future, this could be a great guideline to follow.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a little bit challenging to go into different communities now that COVID's going on. But yeah, I think if you can look into what communities you're interested in, I'm sure this research will be set. Your process is already very strong. So I'm sure once you carry it out, it will be excellent.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Well done. You're welcome.
Oh, sorry, my microphone is muted. So thank you, Akha, for your very thoughtful presentation. And may I go to the third representative, so Panuwat Ratanakun.
Thank you, Sanko. Greeting to everyone. My name is Panuwat Ratanakun. I'm second year guitar student. Guidelines for ideas, techniques, and practice methods for the piece. Natalia Waltz Venezuela number 3 by Antonio Rauro. The composer of this piece, Antonio Rauro, is a South American guitarist and composer. During the 20th century, he was a significant figure. I chose this song because it was one of the songs I was learning at the time. In addition to the attraction of the song is at the perfect length, not too short or too long. The song's rhythm is also enjoyable, rapid, and not monotonous. For all of the reasons that led to my decision to play this song. As for the topic, I choose practice, sing, and feelings, since I believe that this is the most significant aspect of the show, as estimating whether what we have played on our instrument is good or not. It is dependent on practice. And will the show be seen by a large number of people? It all depends on how you feel. Whether we can see it clearly or not. In the video, my main ideas are three things. First, to use only the main content. I focus on the main idea of the song for the reason that it is something that will immediately answer the question to the audience. What do you know or what do you know for? Second is to create creative colors. I also have to paint this piece with a tone color that I choose, even if it is not about the content, but this is what will tell us who we are. For example, in the video, I play several characters talking about the content. And the third is to feel alert all the time to pass on to the audience that they want to listen and they really feel it is learn listening, creating and sense of anticipation. It is similar to employing a different tone of voice. However, if you want to be good at these activities, it takes time to practice. As a result, I choose to pick the viewer interest by maintain your awareness while listening to the topic. In this session, the audience will be able to naturally perceive our emotions, and our tone will adaptably be better and more enjoyable to listen to. Thank you. Please, next slide, please.
สวัสดีครับผมนายพันวัฒน์รัตนกุลนักศึกษาชั้นปีที่1ที่สถาบันดนตรีกัลยาณิวัฒนาเอกกีตาร์คลาสสิกครับตามที่ได้นะครับวันนี้ผมจะมาพูดถึงบทเพลงของนักประพันธ์คนหนึ่งที่ชื่อว่าแอนโทนิโอ ลาโรด้วยประวัติของเขาคร่าวๆนะครับก็คือเขาเป็นคนที่เกิดที่ประเทศเวเนซุเอลาหรือถ้านับเป็นทวีปนะครับเขาก็คือคนที่เกิดทางแถบอเมริกาใต้นั่นเองครับโดยตัวของเขานะครับก็จะเป็นทั้งนักดนตรีและนักประพันธ์เพลงที่อยู่ในยุคของศตวรรษที่20เลยทำให้ในหลายๆผลงานของเขานะครับก็จะออกเป็นแนวของเพลงสมัยใหม่และด้วยความที่ภูมิประเทศที่เขาเกิดนั้นอยู่ในแถบอเมริกาใต้ทำให้ตัวเพลงหลายๆเพลงที่เขาแต่งขึ้นมานั้นมีความสนุกและฟังง่ายนั่นเองครับส่วนตัวเพลงของแอนโทนิโอ ลาโรที่เราเลือกมานำเสนอในวันนี้นะครับก็คือเพลงนาตาเลีย วอลส์ เวเนโซลาโน เบอร์ 3 ครับนาตาเลีย วอลส์ เวเนโซลาโน เบอร์ 3 นะครับในเพลงนี้ถ้าแบ่งเป็นตามมูดหรืออารมณ์แล้วก็จะได้2ท่อนใหญ่ๆนั่นก็คือท่อน A และท่อน B และตัว time signature ของเพลงนี้ก็คือ 3/4 นะครับโอเคเดี๋ยวผมจะอธิบายทีละท่อนนะครับท่อน A หรือท่อนแรกนะครับก็จะเป็นท่อนที่มีจังหวะที่เร็วและให้อารมณ์สนุกสนานโดยตัวหลักของท่อนนี้ก็จะเป็นตัวเบสที่จะมีความหนักอยู่ตลอดเวลาในความที่ผู้แต่งนั้นวางตัวเบสไว้ในจังหวะที่หนักพอดีเลยทำให้มันนั้นมีความลงตัวและเพิ่มความสนุกเข้าไปในมูดของท่อน A อีกด้วยส่วนตัวเมโลดี้ที่เหลือก็เล่นตามปกติได้เหมือนเดิมครับเน้นตาม time signature ปกติแต่ก็จะมีบางห้องนะครับที่สามารถเล่นเป็น time signature 68 ได้เช่นห้องนี้หรือห้องนี้เอาตรงๆเรื่องของ time signature 68 ว่ามันจะอยู่ห้องไหนมันก็ไม่ได้ตายตัวนะครับเพราะว่าแต่ละคนมันก็แบ่งไม่เหมือนกันผมก็เลยจะไม่ได้บอกว่า grouping 68 มันอยู่ห้องไหนบ้างก็เลยจะบอกว่าในบางห้องของเพลงนี้สามารถเล่น grouping ของ time signature 34 เป็น 68 ได้เหมือนกันนั่นเองครับเคยสงสัยกันไหมครับว่าตัวคุณทิวนั้นซ้อมเพลงนาตาเลีย วอลส์ เวเนโซลาโน เบอร์ 3 แบบใดเพื่อให้มันเป็นการซ้อมที่ดีมีเสียงคุณภาพและยังสร้างฟีลลิ่งและฮาร์โมนีที่ดีได้อีกด้วยโดยเป้าหมายของเราในวันนี้ก็แน่นอนนะครับนั่นก็คือคุณทิว ภารัตน์นักกีตาร์มาดหล่อที่ไม่ว่าสาวๆคนไหนเห็นจะเป็นต้องรีบปฏิเสธเพราะว่าเขาหล่อเกินไปนั่นเองครับโดยทางทีมงานนั้นจะซ่อนกล้องเอาไว้โดยที่เขาจะไม่รู้ตัวแล้วหลังจากนั้นเราก็จะมาดูกันนะครับว่าคุณทิว ภารัตน์ใช้วิธีซ้อมแบบไหนกันบ้างกับเพลงนาตาเลีย วอลส์ เวเนโซลาโน เบอร์ 3 ของแอนโทนิโอ ลาโรตอนนี้คุณทิวกำลังเริ่มซ้อมเลยนะครับโอ้ดูเหมือนว่าตอนนี้เขาจะติดปัญหาบางอย่างเหมือนเขากำลังจะหยิบอะไรออกมานะครับโอ้นั่นเมโทรโนมซึ่งดูเหมือนว่าหลังจากที่เขาติดปัญหามานะครับเขาจะเริ่มใช้อุปกรณ์อย่างเมโทรโนมในการแก้ไขแต่โดยปกติแล้วเมโทรโนมเป็นสิ่งที่ใครๆเขาก็ใช้กันแต่เราจะลองมาสัมภาษณ์เขาดูนะครับว่าสำหรับเขาสามารถใช้เมโทรโนมซ้อมอย่างมีประสิทธิภาพได้อย่างไรคือว่าการใช้เมโทรโนมนะมัดอันนี้ไม่ต้องพากก็ได้
อันนี้ผมบอกไว้ก่อนว่าส่วนใหญ่ปัญหามันมักจะเกิดขึ้นหลังจากที่แบบว่าเราแกะเพลงหนึ่งไปเสร็จเรียบร้อยแล้วซึ่งเรื่องของปัญหามันก็คือเราไม่รู้ว่าเราจะไปซ้อมเจาะตรงไหนดีเพราะว่าทุกที่มันก็แบบ ไม่ดีหมดอ่ะ
แล้วพอเราคิดจะซ้อมแยกจุดปุ๊บเราคิดแล้วแบบว่าโอเคจุดนี้แหละที่มันไม่ดีเราก็เลยมาซ้อมจุดนี้ให้มันโอเคทีเนี้ยเราซ้อมจุดนี้โอเคละเราก็ย้ายที่ไปซ้อมจุดใหม่ที่แบบเราคิดว่าแบบมันไม่โอเคอยู่พอเราซ้อมจุดใหม่เสร็จปั๊บเราหันกลับมาดูทีอ้าวจุดที่เราแก้ไปเมื่อกี้มันก็ยังไม่ดีเราก็หันกลับมาซ้อมจุดเดิมที่แบบแก้ไปเมื่อกี้อีกรอบหนึ่งแก้ใหม่แล้วมันก็จะชอบวนลูปอย่างเงี้ยไปเรื่อยๆทีเนี้ยแบบเราก็ไม่รู้สักทีว่าแบบโอเคจุดไหนมันแย่กันแน่อะไรเงี้ยมันก็ชอบเป็นอย่างเงี้ยครับแล้วคุณนั้นใช้วิธีการแก้ปัญหายังไงครับสำหรับวิธีแก้ปัญหาผมก็ได้ไอเดียมาจากอาจารย์อีกทีหนึ่งโดยวิธีแก้ก็คือให้เราเลือกจังหวะเมโทรโนมมาสักอันหนึ่งแล้วก็ให้เราเปิดค้างมันไว้เลยโดยที่ไม่ต้องไปแตะต้องอะไรมันอีกแล้วจากนั้นเราก็เล่นตั้งแต่ห้องแรกไหลเย็นไปห้องสุดท้ายเลยครับวิธีนี้มันก็จะช่วยในการแก้ปัญหาในเรื่องของการเก็บรายละเอียดของโน้ตในตัวเพลงได้อย่างดีเลยครับคือเราไม่จำเป็นต้องไปกังวลเลยครับว่าเราต้องแบบห้องไหนกันแน่ที่มันแย่เราต้องไปซ้อมเจาะห้องไหนเพราะว่าเราสามารถแบบเก็บรายละเอียดระหว่างทางได้เลยสมมติแบบเราเล่นไปเล่นมาตั้งแต่ห้องแรกแล้วเราเจอห้องเนี้ยแล้วแบบรู้สึกว่านิ้วมันติดไว้มันติดขัดอะไรสักอย่างเราก็สามารถแบบว่าเก็บรายละเอียดตรงนั้นแบบนานเท่าไหร่ก็ได้แล้วเราค่อยไปต่อและอีกอย่างหนึ่งคือเราก็จะได้ทบทวนโน้ตทุกๆห้องที่ผ่านๆมาด้วยครับว่าเราแก้อะไรไปแล้วบ้างมันก็กลายเป็นว่าเหมือนแบบเราให้ความสัมพันธ์กับโน้ตทุกๆห้องเท่ากันทั้งหมดครับแล้วเราจะรู้ได้ไงครับว่าสำหรับเพลงนี้เราพัฒนาไปถึงขั้นไหนแล้วสิ่งที่จะทำให้เรารู้ว่าเราพัฒนาไปได้แค่ไหนแล้วก็คือตัวกำหนดครับอย่างตัวกำหนดที่ผมเลือกนะครับก็จะเป็นเวลาผมจะตั้งไว้เลยว่าเพลงนี้ตอน1 วันผมจะให้เวลาเท่าไหร่จะเป็น1หรือ2ชั่วโมงก็ได้ผมก็จะให้เวลาเท่านั้นตอน1 วันแล้วพอสมมติว่าวันหนึ่งผมซ้อมแล้วแบบมันไปติดหลายๆห้องเลยและทีเนี้ยผมซ้อมจนแบบเวลามันครบกำหนดแล้วแต่ว่าเพลงมันยังไม่จบผมก็จะไม่เล่นต่อนะผมก็จะแบบมาร์กในหัวไว้ว่าแบบโอเคเรามาถึงจุดแค่นี้ประมาณนี้แล้ววันต่อมาเราก็ค่อยเริ่มซ้อมแต่ห้องที่1ใหม่โดยที่ผมเชื่อว่าแบบไอจุดมาร์กตัวนั้นมันต้องพัฒนาแบบก้าวขึ้นไปเรื่อยๆในขณะที่เวลาที่ผมเคยกำหนดไว้มันเท่าเดิมและนี่แหละครับก็คือสิ่งที่จะบอกเราว่าเพลงที่เราซ้อมนั้นมันพัฒนาไปได้ถึงไหนแล้วนั่นเองครับแล้วเราก็ได้ข้อสรุปมาแล้วนะครับนั่นก็คือคุณทิวนั้นใช้เมโทรโนมในการซ้อมไหลตั้งแต่ห้องแรกยันห้องสุดท้ายเพื่อเป็นการเก็บรายละเอียดโดยไม่ต้องสุ่มหาและเพื่อเป็นการทบทวนหรือให้ความสัมพันธ์กับโน้ตที่เคยซ้อมไปในตัวเป็นเทคนิคที่น่าสนใจอันนึงเลยครับ
Alright, so yeah, one question from me, please. Yeah, that was great. Thank you for sharing about your practicing process and well done on keeping yourself motivated during this difficult time. You know, you spend a lot of time at home, but you still manage to get your practice done, and that's sometimes challenging. So well done. My question for you is, how do you get to perform at all during this time? Do you find a way to perform, or has it been mostly spending time practicing with yourself?
อาจารย์ขอรบกวนนะครับ
ค่ะ
อาจารย์
ค่ะขออนุญาตถามว่าในช่วงนี้ค่ะเราก็คงจะต้องซ้อมอยู่ที่บ้านเยอะซึ่งดีมากที่เราซ้อมได้เยอะใช่ไหมเพราะว่าอยู่ที่บ้านบางทีมันขี้เกียจได้ง่ายค่ะแต่คำถามของพี่ก็คือช่วงนี้มีโอกาสได้แสดงบ้างหรือเปล่าคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นแสดงจากที่บ้านหรือว่าแสดงให้เพื่อนดูอะไรแบบนี้ค่ะ
อ๋อครับผมก็มีบ้างครับแต่ว่าแบบถ้าเป็นงานที่แบบเป็นเขาเรียกว่าอะไรเป็นงานที่เป็นกิจกรรมหลักๆอันนี้ก็ยังไม่มีเพราะว่าติดโควิดอยู่แต่ว่าผมคิดว่าเราก็สามารถสร้างเองได้โดยใช้แบบพวกแบบไอแอปต่างๆของในที่แบบสมัยนี้เขามีกันอย่างเช่นพวก YouTube Facebook หรือว่า TikTok อะไรพวกนี้ก็ยังเป็นที่นิยมอยู่ครับผมก็เราสามารถสร้างตัวตนเองได้อะไรประมาณนี้ครับมันก็ยิ่งเพิ่มแบบเพิ่มในการสมมติแบบโควิดหายไปปั๊บเราก็สามารถแบบเพิ่มความแบบมั่นใจให้เราได้ด้วยเวลาแบบขึ้นแสดงเวทีต่อไปอะไรอย่างนี้ครับ
ดีมากค่ะขออีกคำถามหนึ่งง่ายๆนะคะว่าเวลาเราแสดงใน YouTube หรือใน TikTok อะไรเงี้ยค่ะเราสามารถอัดได้หลายครั้งใช่ไหมพอหลังโรคระบาดมันจบแล้วอะค่ะเรายังจะอยากแสดงสดอยู่ไหมหรือว่าเราจะเริ่มแบบอัดให้มัน perfect ดีกว่าอะไรอย่างนี้
อ๋อส่วนตัวผมว่าแสดงสดก็ได้ครับแต่ว่าผมชอบในการอัดมากกว่าเพราะว่าสิ่งที่แสดงออกไปมันจะไม่ใช่แค่เพลงครับมันจะเป็นแสดงแบบคาแรคเตอร์ของเราออกมาด้วยแบบไม่ว่าจะเป็นการใส่ภาพการใส่อะไรพวกนี้ครับซึ่งการแสดงสดนั้นมันเป็นดนตรีบรรเลงครับผมแบบคิดว่าคนแบบปกติยังอาจจะแบบฟังไม่เข้าใจอะไรเงี้ยครับ
ดีค่ะเราสื่อสารได้มากขึ้นเนาะเพราะว่ารูปแบบมันหลากหลายกว่าค่ะโอ โอเคขอบคุณค่ะเยี่ยมค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับ
ครับ. So he prefers to still work with online social media content like YouTube, Facebook, or like Instagram. And thank you very much นะครับ for this presentation from for the second year students now. And okay, so it's finished with the contextual study too, and I would like to move on to the next course is contextual study 3. Okay. Okay, so in contextual study 3, student is getting into their second years. So they have grown up for the new society, and now for the whole year, so they having taught for most of the time. But in the contextual study 3, they are expected to be able to teach themselves. So the course is determined for students to learn the process, and they might eventually find the appropriate solution for their problems, or might just touch some angles of it. But at least they will learn the process for questioning their correct answers in the future. We believe that each person has their own way of doing each thing, and each problem cannot be solved by the same method. But to give students the process, they might be able to figure out their own solution. So we have a self-reflection to what the strength of each person or where the weakness of each, and we ask them what are you like able to do a thing very well, or what is your weakness, and in what aspects they want to improve or develop. And most of the time the answers fall into these 4 categories. So it's body, so some students suffer with the body pain and body injury, and some group of students, they have problem with the stage fright or laziness, and some nervous will go on the stage, and some of them have technical difficulties and they want to find a solution, and the others, some of them have interpretation, they would like to know more with the interpretation and other things such as like practicing strategy. They have they have obstacle with to win to achieve their repertoire successfully. So each day is different, but most of the time they fall into these 4 categories. And so with these 4 groups of students, so we divided, and teacher will provide coherent content for each, and sometimes invite other guest lecturers on the topics. So what is similar to all groups is that they would be asked to read and look for relevant information, and students are asked to create a website as a working sheet to the assignment. And at the last, they will present their project as an exhibition. So each person has like their own spot, and they exhibit what they are working during this semester. So this is a contextual study 3. I may continue to the contextual study 4. Okay, contextual studies 4. This is the last one before students are going up to the junior year, and they will have to organize a concert together. So this is the output of the contextual studies 4. and the aspects students will learn while doing this project together are here. So it's a list of things they need to work on. So working as a team, how to curating a program, production skills, recording and filming, production planning, performance planning, PR planning, event website. So normally, Ajahn Anuthai would work and lead these groups and kind of be a secretary of this group actually. So we are not being a teacher now, so we are the secretary of them to work in this course. And with the ongoing COVID-19 situation, so they have to migrate the live concert to the online platform. And we still keep on to the objective of this course. We still have the concert going, but not in live, but in the online format. So now I will give this stage to the students, and they call themselves for this year, they call it Anand. So I would use the Anand team. So let's discover what it is. So this is a project that they work in the last semester. Now they are the student in the third year already. Okay, we will start with the teaser or trailer of the
ดนตรี
online concert.
ดนตรีสำหรับบางคนคือศิลปะสำหรับบางคนคือความสุขที่เวลาเขาได้ฟังสำหรับบางคนคือความสุนทรีสำหรับบางคนก็คือเพื่อนเวลาที่เขาเหงาหรือว่าอกหักซึ่งสรุปแล้วความหมายของดนตรีนั้นคืออะไรกันแน่ดังนั้นดนตรีมันปราศจากกรอบและกฎเกณฑ์เพราะดนตรีไม่มีที่สิ้นสุดไม่มีขอบเขตแล้วสำหรับคุณดนตรีคืออะไร
ขอบคุณมากนะครับอาจารย์โค้กสวัสดีครับ My name is ฤชิกร ไตรคำ This project aims to present a variety of music styles to demonstrate the infinity of music. The situation of the COVID-19 epidemic caused us to adjust the original plan from a live to an online concert instead. The previous trailer has shown how we have been practicing, although some of us may not even have all instruments. No matter what, we have to come up with something and keep practicing. For example, percussionists have to use the pad while training to avoid disturbing others. Next, we will talk about the concept and our logo, how this logo comes, what does this logo mean, and why music infinite. Next slide, please.
Hello, สวัสดีครับmy name is Pro นารัตน์คิมทองครับtoday I am really sorry today I have to speak Thai because if speak English it can be helpful โอเคก็สำหรับโปรเจกต์นี้นะครับผมจะทำงานอยู่ใน2ส่วนหลักๆด้วยกันก็คือในส่วนของ Art Design นะครับหรือว่าการออกแบบต่างๆแล้วก็อีกส่วนหนึ่งก็คือส่วนของ PR นะครับซึ่งอันนี้ผมจะมาพูดในส่วนของออกแบบก่อนโอเคก็ในส่วนของออกแบบนะครับโลโก้ที่เราเห็นเมื่อสักครู่เนี่ยหรือว่าโลโก้ที่เราเห็นอยู่ตอนนี้นะครับก็ในส่วนของโลโก้เนี่ยเนื่องจากเราเนี่ยได้คอนเซ็ปต์ร่วมกับทีมเนี่ยด้วยคำว่าอนันต์ซึ่งมันทำให้เราเนี่ยต้องคิดต่อไปว่าเราจะทำโลโก้ยังไงหรือว่าจะต้องสื่อสารกับคนผ่านโลโก้ในรูปแบบไหนซึ่งคำว่าอนันต์เนี่ยมันก็แปลความหมายได้อีกแบบก็คือคำว่าไม่มีที่สิ้นสุดไร้ขอบเขตหรือว่าไม่มีขอบเขตอะไรครับซึ่งมันไปตรงกับคำว่า infinity พอดีเราก็เลยจับ2สิ่งนี้ไอ้รูปลักษณ์ของ infinity กับคำว่านั้นมารวมกันก็เกิดเป็นโลโก้นี้ขึ้นมาซึ่งมันก็สื่อความหมายออกมาได้อย่างชัดเจนตามที่ทีมเราต้องการโอเคต่อไปนะครับเป็นในส่วนของโพสต์ต่างๆซึ่งโพสต์ต่างๆเนี่ยก็ในส่วนของโพสต์ต่างๆเนี่ยไม่ว่าจะเป็นการโปรโมทตัววงดนตรีหรือโปรโมทตัวนักแสดงเนี่ยเนื่องจากเราตัวนักดนตรีหรือตัววงเนี่ยมีความแบบหลากหลายค่อนข้างมากไม่ว่าจะเป็นตัวตนของนักดนตรีเองตัวตนของวงเองหรือแนวเพลงที่เขาเล่นเองก็ตามมันทำให้มันค่อนข้างมีความหลากหลายมากซึ่งมันทำให้เราต้องคิดว่าเราจะทำยังไงให้เราโพสต์อะไรออกไปมันสื่อความเป็นตัวเขามากที่สุดสื่อถึงความเป็นตัววงมากที่สุดซึ่งเรามีการปรับแก้หลายรอบมากกับตัวโพสต์กว่าจะออกมาได้เป็นแบบที่ทุกคนเห็นในตอนนี้นะครับซึ่งเรามีการใช้สีการเล่นกับสีว่าสีแบบนี้สื่อถึงตัวตนเขายังไงสีแบบนี้สื่อถึงเพลงเขารูปทรงลักษณะอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับเลยออกมาเป็นโลโก้นี้ประมาณนี้ครับขอบคุณครับแล้วก็อันนี้จะเป็นหน้าตาของ Facebook Fanpage ของเรานะครับก็ใครที่สนใจหรือว่ายังไม่เคยเข้าไปดูสแกนตอนนี้เลยครับบอกเลยว่าในแฟนเพจเนี่ยก็จะมีอะไรหลายอย่างมากมีตัวเพลงตัวอะไรต่างๆครับสามารถสแกนเข้าไปดูได้ก็สแกนเลยครับใครยังไม่เข้าไปดูnext slide please
Thank you, Narat. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Waris Warindaravesh, and now I'm going to talk about our duties. As you see, we have divided duties into 6 divisions: manager, content, PR, technical advisor, stage, sound and video editing. We assign our colleagues to work that really fit to them for the happiness at work and the best work quality. Next slide, please. And I'm a manager on this project. My duty is the planning, the schedule, overall management, having some negotiation with teacher and asking them for some advice, encouraging my colleagues and helping their work if it was too much or too hard to handle for them.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Panaporn Pansanit. I am a third-year student from Galyani Vadhana Institute of Music. Today, I'm going to talk about the role of the content department and how we work on this project. This department can be considered as the main brain of this project. The content department is divided into many functions from graphic design, scriptwriter, and proofreader. These three topics are the most important aspect of this project. Graphic design is create and combine artistic components such as symbol, image, and letter through one design process, such as typography, illustration, and arrangement of elements used to communicate something. We would like to give an example as an illustration on the left-hand side. This is the one of our graphic design work.
Yes, hello.
You may go back to the previous slide, please. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tantalan Sainaha. Today, I will talking about scriptwriter is working in this project. First, we have to know in meaning and background in song, which in the project, we have a wide variety of song and there are many different genres of music. So we have to search in the background of song and ask, what would you like it to be in this song? Or do you have a theme? And ask them, what kind of song details would you like me to write? Something like that. And when we write in song details, we have a main point important is how to writing interesting songs because we need the people have attention in this project. After that, we're gonna send a detail of song to group reader and then we'll have to check a detail of song again to make sure our work come out perfectly. Next slide, please.
โอเคสวัสดีอีกครั้งครับก็ในส่วนของ PR นะครับก็เราจะเป็นคนตรวจสอบครั้งสุดท้ายก่อนที่โพสต์ต่างๆจะออกไปสู่ตัวผู้ชมหรือว่าผู้ที่ติดตามเพจนะซึ่งเราจะตรวจสอบอะไรบ้างก็ตรวจสอบภาพรวมของโพสต์ตรวจสอบตัวหนังสือตรวจสอบอะไรก็ตามที่คนสามารถเห็นได้แล้วก็ในอีกหน้าที่หนึ่งที่เราต้องทำจริงๆก็คือการคิดว่าเราจะทำอย่างไรให้สิ่งที่เราต้องการจะสื่อสารไปถึงคนดูได้และคนดูสามารถที่จะสนใจเราได้ซึ่งมันก็เป็นเรื่องที่ใหม่มากสำหรับพวกเราอะไรเงี้ยก็เราก็พยายามหาข้อมูลจาก Facebook จาก Google จาก YouTube อะไรเงี้ยเพื่อมาทำให้เรารู้ว่าจะต้องทำอย่างไรซึ่งเราก็ได้ทางออกในหลายวิธีไม่ว่าจะเป็นฝากเพื่อนโพสต์เองเอาไปแปะตามมหาลัยหรือว่าแบบโพสต์กันเองช่วยกันแชร์อะไรครับก็สนุกครับโอเค next slide please thank you
hello my name is Park Pong Khantiwong and the technician is responsible for controlling video and audio recording for each band at PGVIM and providing advice on equipment for people or friends is working at home and bring the original video and audio to the team editing and team sound engineer. Next slide.
Hello, my
Only I think maybe Yulo have some connection problem. He's waiting for a moment, please.
Should we go to the next slide and come back?
Yeah, that's why. Or somebody would like to talk for him.
Okay, maybe we can go to the next slide, and then if we come back, we can go back to the previous slide.
Okay, hello, I am Poom. I took responsibility for sound editing section. My main task arrange the soundtrack of each musician, make it in the right places on each song, and control the sound quality of each track. Due to the situation of COVID, it made more difficult to control the quality because everyone record on their own mobile phone, or some band record on professional recorder. But only mobile phone, there are different type of built-in microphone. Another than that, the thing that made job harder are the noise on the background. Everyone came with a different level of noise sound, so it's difficult to control the equality of each track. So it was unpredictable to the result of each band. Thank you.
Seems like our stage team has come back. Maybe we can go to the stage recording. Yeah. Hello, Euro.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Watikon Dipakon. My job is stage setting and recording. I will be in charge of schedule for recording date and preparing the recording room for our artists. Due to pandemic of COVID-19, I sometimes decide to use Zoom to have a meeting to discuss a manager and author about our recording schedule for our best workflow. Every great that everyone cooperate work really hard to get to this project. I hope you enjoy our work. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Okay, and this is the music program that we put for everyone to see. Is schedule that we have discussed and laid out of each week will be divided into different genres of music for everyone, whether it's classical, pop, or even experimental genres of the song, and list them out. After that, we choose to start with the songs that are to listening to uh, to the first one, which is the group of pop song. And the next day, it start with electronic song, including various modifications of the song. And Thursday, in the middle, in classical music, and for the remaining 2 days after that, we are switch place from the music genres from the first 2 days. But this schedule may have changed some little bit, but the main thing is the genre of song is about, like I said before. And this project also includes Thai song that we have played with until the last day. We was meeting to discuss and talk a little thing in this project from Zoom and live on Facebook. Yes.
Uh, maybe could Waris saying a little bit about the piece?
Oh yes, as you see, this Lacrimosa original by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and I have working on this work pretty hard because I have to, MIDI keyboard, the piano part, the singing part, the mixing part. I have done everything by myself with my friends on high school assisting. Yep. Hope you like it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Okay, we move on to the next piece. So okay, we see three example of the music we feed on the Facebook, PGVIM Music Facebook. Thank you. Could Poom explain a bit about this piece, please?
Okay. This song I composed by myself based on the composing method by the Philip Glass. Yes, it in the minimal form. I try to use the material from the Philip Glass to development more. Yeah, just like that. And I composed this song forอาจารย์ Elisa. That time she quit from PGVIM and I composed for her as a gift. Yeah, like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Poom. So he called this piece is Never Come Back Again. So he dedicated this piece to Ajahn Elisa, who already moved back to America. And Ajahn Elisa had taught Poom from the beginning. โอเคครับ we go to the next piece ครับ Pro ครับ would you like to talk a little bit about this piece or somebody
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์สไลด์นี้ผมขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยนะครับสำหรับเพลงที่เพิ่งฟังไปนะครับจริงๆแล้วผมได้แรงบันดาลใจมาจากเพลงไก่จ๋าครับของสายันสัญญาแล้วก็ผมโดยที่เป็นคอนเซปต์ของคำว่านั้นครับผมเลยนำเพลงนี้เป็นเพลงลูกทุ่งของไทยที่แบบดังในช่วงยุคหนึ่งแล้วก็นำมาผสมผสานกับในยุคนี้ที่แบบมีเครื่องดนตรีที่เป็นอิเล็กทรอนิกส์มากขึ้นแล้วก็มีการทำแนวทำนองขึ้นมาใหม่ทำดนตรีขึ้นมาใหม่เพื่อให้มีความแบบน่าสนใจมากขึ้นแต่ว่ายังมีความเป็นลูกทุ่งอยู่โดยการนำเครื่องดนตรีไทยคุยมาเล่นเป็นเมโลดี้ครับ
ขอบคุณมากครับ so very contradict นะครับ from the beginning but very enjoyable okay ครับ we go to a little bit of this project ครับ so please go ahead
Okay, due to COVID-19, we have to change our show style from on-site to online. So, of course, it causes many problems. First, our first problem is location. Some of our artists still can come to PGVIM, but some of them are from other faraway provinces. Number two, miscommunications. Sometimes when we usually social media or phone calls to communicate each other, it makes us misunderstand each other and slow down our work. Number three, cooperation issues. Some of our colleagues don't have any access to work device like computers. These issues make it inconvenient to work. And number four, the last one is recording technique and recording equipment. Like I have said on our first problems is some of our artists didn't live in Bangkok, so they can't come to PGVIM and access to recording equipment like camera and microphones. They have to use their only limited resource like mobile phone, and they also need to handle everything by themselves without any help from our recording team. That's it.
For the reflection, the main thing is the communication. We have learned to communicate with colleagues to get the job done. At the beginning of our work, we mostly use Line and Messenger, which is communication through text, may cause misunderstanding at some points. So we try to use Zoom to have more frequent voice conversation. And attitude. We need to learn something quickly in a short time. For example, video editors need to have learn to use different programs and techniques in order to solve problems. Next slide, please.
So
all right.
It's finished with this section.
Okay, I would like to say a little something. This is a huge project, so well done to all of you who are involved in this project. And problems exist, right? In every project you do, there are always going to be challenges, but what you put together is very, very well done. So well done managing your problems and overcoming all the difficulties, and stay together as a team. I'm sure, the process that you told us, you shared with us, you have roles and you work together. So keep doing that and you'll learn from each other, and it's great artwork that you're doing. Oh, by the way, great logo. I'm a big fan. Anand with infinity. That's great. Yeah, and all the music is very inspiring. I do have 2 questions, and any of you, I would like for you to answer 1 or 2 questions that I have. So the first question is, how do you balance your classical music skills with all your interest in making it more electronic and catchy? That's the first question. And the second question is, how important is lyrics or voice or words in your music? So yeah, either of the 2 questions, anyone.
I will go on the first questions. On my part, I'm a pianist, just a normal pianist. I have to practicing and performance like other pianists. But mixing in the computer, pop music, or something like MIDI or electronic music is my special interest, and I will study or learning about it on YouTube or internet when I have a free time. So I think, why don't I show it out and show to each other how much I can work on electronic music.
It's great you're taking advantage of the internet, and yeah, the more you can collaborate with your friends too, the better your work can be. If your friends have similar interests, I'm sure that you can also enhance each other's skills, although it's hard at this time. But yeah, that's great that you're still keeping it up with your skills at the university, and at the same time learning on your own. So that's great. Anyone else?
I request Ruchikon to answer our second questions. He might good for it.
Okay. Thank you, Wallace. Thank you very much. I think about the second question, if in the music or song have lyric, I think maybe it helps people that listen all piece maybe can connect more clearly with the piece or song. I think this is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. I feel like, we communicate with words, like we're using words now in this conference. Right. So it's easier to communicate with people in that way. But at the same time, we still also value instrumental music, right? But yeah, sometimes it helps to have words. Great, thank you. Thank you for the responses.
Thank you very much. And I'm very proud of them. I mean, from the beginning, it doesn't look like this at all, but after everybody has learned to work together and to collaborate and to put their effort to every single step that they're doing, so now the project looks complete, and this group is it step into a dilemma, because that is the period that the COVID situation is like quasi period, like it's going to get better or worse, or like, okay, and we cannot predict anything. Sometimes we would like, okay, in 2 weeks we're going to do things in the institute, and then there is a announcement that we have to stay home, or everything like this. So it's kind of chaos a bit, and everybody was worried how can they finish the project. And of course, Ajahn Anotai would not give up to have this happen. So okay, and yeah, it turned out to be very wonderful and fantastic. Okay, and thank you very much. And if you have time, you can check out in their Facebook page, yeah, Music Infinite, for all the songs and detail. Thank you. And so okay, now we finish with our courses of Contextual Studies 1 to 4. So in the first 2 years, what students have learned, and we are now getting into their 3rd and 4th year. And in this meantime, they will have to prepare their junior and senior recitals. And so today you will see the big picture of these continual courses to a student's recital. So you see from the very beginning, and now we're going to see also a representative of the junior and senior recitals. This happened in the last academic year. So now some of them already has graduated, and 2 of them are in their 4th year. So I'm very pleased to have them here, 3 candidates. So they are, the first is Kansiri Jirawatanapan. So with the project Time in a Frame, from the past to the music we now see. And the second is Pumtanamu, a classical soundscape. And the third is Sirapop Maitri Sirimongkon, listening to the 20th century. So, okay, now I will give this presentation to Kansiri, please.
Hello, could you please turn on my camera for me, please? The host stop my camera. Hello. Okay, let me share the screen now. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Kansiri Vadhana, and I'm a 4th year piano student at Princess Galyani Vadhana Institute of Music. And today I'm going to share you about my recital project last year, which is the Time in a Frame, from the past to the music we now see. Okay, so let's begin with how it started. So basically, it starts on from my dream. As a kid, I love to draw. Art is just like a part of my favorite things in my life, but it just like soon fades away because due to my responsibility as a student to take, and also I just decided to choose to continue my musical path, and so that's why I just like fades away. And also I have been very into the art of the pop music album cover design, which I found it very fascinating in the way that they use the visual to represent the music to the people. And to me, the cover design is just like inviting us into, it's just like a door that introduces us into the musical world. So also I just like think about there is a question that come into my mind, which is that the classical music has been fixed within its own tradition or the practice, so that's why the album covers of it must have to represent it that way as well. So this question is just like led me into the concept of this project, which is to create the classical album cover designs for the piece that I'm going to perform, which is I choose the repertoire, I choose Claude Debussy's Estompe, the three movements of Estompe, and also Bella Bartok, the night's music from the Out of Door Suite, and the last one is the Lark by Michael Kinkar. So so then I just start to researching, focusing into the year of Claude Debussy's era, because that time was the time where the modernism is just like very blossoming and also blooming. So I just look into the process of the poster design as well. So there are many interesting, like they use the way of the painting to give people the information and also to give the details about like music or events in that time. So there are many artists, for example, Alphonse Mucha and Toulouse Lautrec and many others. And also looking into the process of printing and the focusing into the lithographic process as well. And later on, I start to look into the art of the cover design in the early of the 20th centuries, which is the Columbia record label. Just was the first record label where they start to begin to design the cover to give the audience to perceive the music in the different perspective. And also I look into the cover designs of the album cover by various artists who performed Claude Debussy's work, which is very fascinating and interesting for me to collect. And I just like compile it in order to enhance my creativity in creating my own representation as well. The next one, so that's after that I decided to create my first draft of the pagodes from the Estompe. So I started to create the big frame of the picture, because in the first place I decided to present the visual as a background along my performance in the hall, but due to the pandemic, like what Ajahn Koh said, so I have to change the plan to record instead and also use the visual elements as the representation and share with the audience on the online platform instead. So this one is the draft where I use the collage technique, because I found it very interesting in the way that we use the realistic things to combine into the one picture, and so that the audiences can perceive it in another perspective as well. And this one is just based on the historical background of the piece, which is so it's just based on the fact. And also I create the first draft of the album cover as well. But later on, I just soon realized that because my recital project is just to combine all the different times altogether, which is the time in the past, which is the time where the piece that I'm going to perform is where they are, and also combine the today's world. So I just have to think more in the way that how I'm going to use the elements to portray it rather than use the realistic things as a key. So later on I started to create another one, and finally it came out like this. So I just use those colors for the pagodes. I use this color to portray like the water and all those elements just to depict the feeling that WC used the pentatonic scales and also the inspiration from the gamelan music. So I just want to give the people like the sense of it, and also because I'm also an Asian kid, so it's just like also another feeling of me as well. And then for the visual process, I also look into many inspiration. For example, the Pablo Picasso or Matisse or Mary Ellen Butter or Man Ray or any other, which I already collected and posted on my website. So there are many interesting visual design as well. So I will show you just a little bit. And then another one. Okay, and then I start to record filming my own footage by myself by start to film something around me. For example, the first one I use the water in the bucket and just like use the flashlight of my phone to reflect it. And the other one just like collecting the footage from the Jalpaya River. Yeah, and this one just the reflection with the water bottle, and this one reflecting with the plastic. Yeah, yeah, here it is. And the skies. And this one, the man uses the flashlight. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. So it came out like this. So I have been into the video editing as well. I have been struggling with it. So I just like have been discovering many things that I have never done before. So this one is the pagodes. So I'll show you guys just a little bit. Yeah, and also the next one, I'll give you an example of the Bartok night music. So for this piece, I just collect the footage from the online resource by I collect the eyes because I want to portray this piece as the eyes of people to represent the fears of the human being. Like for me as a kid, I used to scare of the dark, so I just use the eyes that we can't see anything. And yeah. Oh, sorry. So this piece is like very evocative. So I just wanted to pick the feeling of like the tropical feeling, the nights in the woods, somehow like that. And so I just picked the eyes of the living things as well. And yeah, also use like the spinning wheels at the back of this footage to give the people the concentration into the middle of the frame. Yeah, like that. Okay. So finally this project is like to just for me to find my dreams in like finding the things that I'm interested in, and also just integrate it with integrate the art with the music to make me discover more for myself. So finally it just came out like the CD cover that I have been designing. So if you guys want to find out more, you can scan the QR code here, and please enjoy the music and the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Kansiri. So I have a little question. Actually, a very small question. In the beginning, you showed a lot of collages of covers. Were all of them made by you?
Oh no, that are like the cover, the pop music cover, that is my favorite one. So I found it very interesting. So I just like collect it in the collection.
I think you curated them very well too. So it looked like another piece of work, which is good. But yeah, I do have a real question now. So I got to see your project in July, and it was one of the projects that I didn't have any suggestions because it was just so well done. Everything, from the visuals to the music to combining them together, the pacing of them, it was just amazing. I was just so impressed.
Thank you very much.
Now you're in your 4th year, right?
Yeah.
So this may be a little bit of a scary question, but what do you see yourself doing right when you graduate? Because you have so many skills and you do have to put your skills somewhere. right? So where are some of the places your skills might be?
So honestly, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been like figure it out. I'm not sure like where I'm going to put myself at. So yeah, so this project is like another step for me to step out of my safe zone to discover the way that I could use my old dreams to combine it. So I think that's like it's another step for me to decide it where I want to discover more, which I think this maybe I'm going to continue into this path as well, in the way that I just want to combine the art and music all together.
Yeah, I want to say one thing, that I think it's important that you have your identity that's strong, which, you know, your artistic identity is already strong. So if you have a collection of your work that really says a lot about you and who you are as an artist, you know, you can bring this anywhere. And, you know, when people look at your work, then they can connect with you. They understand you right away. You don't even have to present yourself. It's like, this is my work, and you don't have to know about me, but know my work, you know.
Yeah.
So that's great that you have a strong artistic identity, and I would really want you to keep it up.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you very much, Boeing. It's very well done and very fantastic. We will go to the next representative. Okay, Phumthanamu.
Okay, hello. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Phumthanamu. So today I'm going to present about my project. It's called Classical Soundscape, which is divided into the two parts. The one part is the performing part, and the another part is my composition part. So my composition part is called Why Pleasure. This is the 10-minute piece. It's based on my own listening experience and reflection. Sometimes when we are travel to the different place, we miss the moment we have experienced. So what do? Some people may go back to look at the old picture. Some people sit and immerse themselves in their memory. I would like to present my own memory through sound. The idea behind this composition is to let my listener experience the beauty of nature through the soundscape I have created. I want my audience to listening carefully and let their imagination take them to the place, visualizing the many different nature sound heard in this work. The piece is divided into the 8 sections, which are completely different from each other. Every time we move to a new section, we travel to a new place. So let's talk about the progress of work. I create this style piece and I start by visualizing. I start drawing on the paper and immerse what I had imagined, and each image will be divided to the section. Then I start to think of arranging details, start putting the sound in each section. Each sound is laid out in detail to create the harmony and melody of nature in each section. Then I start to designing the composition of song melody. I spend a lot of time to look at the place to place the sound and the perfect place to place the sound. And put the melody from song in each part. I will choose the theme of song by studying the inspiration and what he thinks like in each of part of melody. So The piece includes the variation on the melody and harmony of Saint-Saëns Violin Concerto No. 3. My aim is to establish the connection between the Saint-Saëns work and his inspiration from the natural world. I look at the composition as a large soundscape picture. I think about the picture and imagine the sound that exists within the picture and how to express those imaginary place through sound conveying. My feeling as a traveler who keeps moving to a different place. I am someone who like to travel and I take inspiration from my travel to the natural place. The music that I create is mainly about nature, and I was also inspired by Chopin movie Into the Wild. It is my favorite movie and based on true story. It's following the journey of the Christopher McCandless to Alaska. This evocative film gives me the idea of creating a piece that would be like one person journey. I use quote from the movie throughout. I hope you enjoy this journey. So next section is all of the section in my piece. It's gonna be like I telling one guy's story to the other. So the first one is introduction. The introduction is the intro of the piece is earworm and starting with the river and gladly growing to the B flat, supporting the gentle sound of the streaming and bird. This is a beginning of a new journey. So the next section is called happiness. I use the quote from the movie quote, there is a pleasure in the pathless woods. This section is convey the warm feeling I experience in nature place and the beauty of tree, mountain, stream. I juxtapose a simple and peaceful 6/8 passage from the second movement of Saint-Saëns Concerto. The natural environment become the orchestra accompanying the violin part. The melody are like a bird interacting with each other. We travel through shady forest, enjoying the beautiful green and leafy landscape allow us. This theme by Saint-Saëns come in the form of accompaniment that communicate with the surrounding nature.
ความสุขเกิดขึ้นในป่าที่ไร้หนทางเดิน
Next section is called loneliness. We are now reached the quiet place under the canopy of the forest, which take us into the arm. We experience joy and warmth. The tension and chaos of the city seem far away, very far away. After this initial feeling of warmth, loneliness, and anxiety, in our little bird friends are still around communicating with each other through music. I enjoy the conversation with the simple melody from the concerto. Next section is called Lonely Shore. The quote, there is a rupture on the lonely shore. Quote, happiness is bliss and depend on ourselves. The place we choose to visit and our surrounding can enhance our happiness even more. Arriving at the lonely coastline, we can only look at the emptiness and the edge of horizon. The sound of bird and the crystal wind blowing against the towerless body. The peaceful atmosphere almost seems to stop the time. In shady tranquility give us the time to talk with ourselves. Those peaceful moments allow us to rethink the past. In this section, I use the theme from the first movement of the concerto, where the melody is sweet and beautiful, translating this time of happiness, where we can be with ourselves at this time for reflection.
มีความหันษาบนชายฝั่งที่เงียบเหงา
Next section is violin and bird duet. Quote, there is society where none interrupt. Quote, where there are no interrupter, there is still a society that communicates every day. The natural world communicate as we continue our journey. We enter the vast forest surrounded by the tall trees that are almost invisible. The little creatures are talking with each other on this warm night. We are happy to stay here and have an opportunity to communicate with the nature. This evening will be a memory night. Here I use the melody from the second movement, which is like a bird song. I designed to create a duet between the violin and bird society. The place peaceful and evocative chord progression from the song is playing by the crystal ride electric piano supporting the metaphorical conversation.
มีสังคมในที่ที่ไม่มีคนบุกรุก
Next section is raining night. Quote, happiness is meaningful when we share. Quote, nature is always sharing. The fall of rain gives the water to the tree to keep them alive, so that the tree can continue to create the beauty. There's will be an obstacle in our journey. It is natural that sometimes our journey can be difficult, but we might find something beautiful hidden behind the hardship. On this day, we notice something beautiful within our surrounding. Close your eye and try to listen the sound around you. This section uses the fair and dark melody from the first movement, which the original orchestral tremolo replaced by the granular texture of rain. The melody grows more intense and the rain gets heavier.
ความสุขมีความหมายต่อเมื่อเราแบ่งปัน
The next section is in the deep sea, quote, by the deep sea and music in it raw, quote. Sometimes in the deep sea, we can clearly hear the sound of waves that interact like music. Sometimes even the quiet pace, we can hear half a music hidden within. When imagining the depth of the sea, for example, we would think we would find nothing, but completely darkness and silent. We probably wouldn't see anything there, but we would still hear the music through the sound of whale singing and communicating. In this section, I choose to use the melody from the third movement that is sweet and floating, remind me of the feeling we experience when we in the middle of the sea.
ในทะเลลึกสุดใจยังมีท่วงทำนองที่ก้องกังวาน
Last section, quote, I love not man the less, but nature more, quote. Our traveler has returned to the shore. He knows that the journey is coming to at the end soon. In this wet meadow, he looks as far as he can see, the hissing of wind and glass surrounding him. Sometime during the journey, one is bound to get lost somewhere, but there is a way, something to guide us. Travel can teach us many tricks and allow us to discover something new. We people experience he light his cigarette and glass the star. Quote, I hope this trip will be a good one. He whispered to himself. Quote, sometimes we are sad that our journey is coming to at the end, but he knows in his heart and that there will be a next time. Finally, our traveler continued his journey. Many experiences are still waiting on the path ahead of him.
เราไม่ได้รักมนุษย์น้อยลงแต่รักธรรมชาติมากขึ้น
I hope you enjoyed this trip. Thank you for listening. See you again.
Well done, Pumtana. And I really enjoyed your combination of the nature sound and your music, and you produced it to make it even more appealing and easy to follow. So that's really great. And it really makes your music come alive, you know, when you add nature sound into it. So my question for you, well, the first question is, how did you make the sound for piano and drums? Was it electronic or was it live instruments?
It's an electronic sound. I use my MIDI keyboard.
Oh,
I
nice.
play on piano on MIDI keyboard, and the drum I use the drum machine in the Logic Pro.
Oh, yeah, they came out really good.
Thank you.
And yeah, so I was wondering, what were some of the challenges that you faced, because you pace it very well. You put the nature sound in your music, but so I'm sure sometimes it doesn't fit. So like, what were some of the challenges that, like, you know, sometimes nature sounds also have pitches or have rhythms that don't go along with the music. So I was just wondering how it went for you.
I spend a lot of time to listen the sound, and it's very hard to find the place to play the perfect place to place the sound. So I listen each part very many times. So just think for myself about good part. So just find the good part. Yeah, the good part to place it on.
Very well done, though. Couldn't tell that it was difficult for you, but yeah, really great job doing that. Yeah, it's amazing, and keep up your work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree that is really amazing, and how these students, like for the previous students like Boeing and Putanamu, they integrate their passion from between music and the thing that they love together, and to create such project for the audience. It's really amazing. And yeah, and I can see Putanamu, it's you, I think you have like another world of that you can like go through and relaxing yourself, like go to traveling and things. I know how you like get over like all the hardship that you're facing. Very great.
Also, thank you for bringing awareness to our environment. We need more of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And can we go to the next representative? So Sirapop.
Hello. Let me share your screen first, like in a second.
So the project he's showing is when he was in the 4th year. Now he is already graduated.
Okay. So okay, let me do the proper greeting. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sirapop Maitri Mongkon. So I'm a new grad from PGVIM, and today I would like to introduce you to my graduate recital called Listening to the 20th Century. So we'll start with the inspiration. My inspiration comes from the question that I proposed to myself long ago. Like how do we get into the music that is so new to us? Like when you never heard anything before, and like trying to like do the first-hand experience with that by listening. But how do we like enhance the thing? How do we like get it more by using the context to help it? So to come across a new style of music is such a fascinating experience. And after some observation, I found that listening to new things after knowing some of their context changed how we listen to the piece totally. What I found is that our own listening approach takes important roles to our first-hand listening experience. And this is the core of my idea project, which is how do we help the audience understanding music alongside with the context. So one of the most important composers in the 20th century, Arnold Schoenberg, is a pioneer on this idea by creating his own community called Society for Private Musical Performance, performing contemporary works by new composers and trying to introduce a new aesthetic to the audience. And in that time, there are so many new musical styles happening, such as works from Zelinsky, Satie, or the second Venice school that include Schoenberg himself. So they have tried to communicate their own thoughts to the audience and in their own way. And that's also why I choose the 20th century music to present, because there is so many styles that are quite new to Thai audience and can be introduced in their own context in each pieces. So yeah, my inspiration comes from here. And let's go to the research questions. So here's the project questions to like make my way more clear. There like how are trends in the 20th century manifest in the music performed on this program? Second one is, how do these composers communicate larger philosophical and aesthetic ideas through music? And the last one, the most important one, how do I communicate each composer's thoughts through online platform, like to online audience. And here, this is how I do things. At first, I managed to like to a list and make it as a framework, because like 20th century music has a vast musical style. So I try to keep the fluid repertoire that showing the different context and aesthetic in mind, and use it as the study framework. So that they are like Debussy, Hindemith's, Olivier Messiaen, and Gustav Mahler. So that all the pieces have their own meaning to be on this work. So after that, I dig in some research and start making a process by choosing platform, making narration design, and these processes are going back and forth all the time. So as you can see, like I start with the idea and take action by doing some researching, reading, and get that repertoire framework, as I said before, and going through some research and synthesis. This process is coming back and forth all the time, like to choose the proper one to introduce to our audience online. And by the online things, I've tried to like do the communication design to make it be audience centered. Like as we all know, like the audience online and the audience offline, they have like such a different experience that gonna happen with them, like when they are watching us. So I need to like bring the proper presentation to them, like so the output gonna be performance with the short documentaries to let them know the main context of it, and the podcast, which I'm gonna talk about it later, and last is the website and some articles on the website. So like all of the presenters before, during my working process, I've learned that we cannot play live music at the time. So my plan was changed. My new goal is to bring the performance online and redesign overall storytelling, because the project was at first designed to be a live performing. So between the process, I learned that connection between us and the audience are different from before. Like how we have more tools, and now we have more tools to communicate our own creativity online. And my idea on designing the audience experience comes from here. After a long process of reading and researching, I've gained a lot of information that I would like to express, but sometimes when I put too much things together, it's kind of messy and the main point is going vaguely. And by that, I noticed that we could design the storytelling to let the audience get only the exact important information that they only need to know in order to get into the piece. Like, because many times to get into some music, you don't need to know or do anything other than just listening to it, and you get it easily that way. But sometimes, and mostly for 20th century music, to know some ideas before listening, it changes your listening experience totally. So especially as a piece in the style that you are not used to or comfy with before. And here, as a musician, we can help them enjoying the piece more by giving them some sort of the ideas or that help them to knowing about the piece better. So from that thought, I managed two ways of communication to the audience. One is a podcast named Listening in Context with Mr. Casey Jujan. We were talking about some general idea of listening from Aaron Copland's book, and the latter part is about the importance of knowing and not knowing the context. So the other way that I choose and bring up with my online performance is a short documentary in Thai on each different pieces in the program, which trying to help the audience who is not so familiar with the 20th century musical style to get some idea before their first-hand experience. And one interesting point is that I managed to like play one of the piece twice. First time, no context at all, and the second time, with a documentary before and the narrator while I'm playing it. That piece is Debussy's Three Wings. Like this thing, I do the process like what Schoenberg has done in his own private musical society, as I mentioned before. So let's see some of the documentary. It has no English, but sorry for the English speaker.
บางครั้งเราก็ไม่อาจปฏิเสธได้ว่าเสียงของธรรมชาติเป็นส่วนประกอบสำคัญของชีวิตมนุษย์เป็น material ที่เหล่าศิลปินมักหยิบยกมาเป็นแรงบันดาลใจในการสื่อสารศิลปะวรรณกรรมหรือดนตรีเช่นเดียวกับเมซิยงที่หยิบใช้เสียงของเหล่านกมาเป็นตัวแทนของธรรมชาติเพื่อเชื่อมโยงประสบการณ์ของเราเข้าด้วยกันโอลิเวียเมซิยงเป็นทั้งคีตกวีอาจารย์และนักแต่งเพลงชาวฝรั่งเศสอีกทั้งยังเป็น ornithologist หรือนักปักษีวิทยาเขาคอยเฝ้าศึกษาเหล่านกรอบตัวตามคำแนะนำจากพอล ดูคัสผู้เป็นอาจารย์วิชา composition ของเขาสมัยที่ยังเรียนอยู่ใน Paris Conservatory
Il éclate tout d'un coup brusquement. La seconde strophe, ce sont des batteries sur deux sons très célèbres. Tico, 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 tico. Ensuite, dans le grave, un timbre mêlé clavecin et gong qui fait tchou, 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 tchou.
Le Malinois หรือ The Blackbird เป็นเพลงสำหรับฟลุตและเปียโนประพันธ์ขึ้นในปีคริสตศักราช 1952 แต่งขึ้นเพื่อใช้ในการสอบสำหรับนักฟลุตใน Paris Conservatory ที่เขาเป็นอาจารย์อยู่ซึ่งบทเพลงนี้นำเสนอแรงบันดาลใจที่ได้รับมาจากเสียงนก Blackbird ผสมกับทฤษฎีการประสานเสียงและการสร้างจังหวะในแบบฉบับของตัวเมซิยงโดยใช้โหมดที่ย้ายคีย์ได้อย่างจำกัดและการใช้จังหวะที่เรียกว่า non-retrogradable rhythm ที่เป็นเอกลักษณ์ของเขาผลงานดนตรีทั้งในด้านทฤษฎีบทเพลงการสอนและรวมไปถึงการแสดงของเขาทั้งในฐานะของอาจารย์และศิลปินกลายเป็นแรงบันดาลใจที่ขับเคลื่อนวงการดนตรีในฝรั่งเศสและส่งอิทธิพลให้กับคีตกวีหลายท่านในยุคต่อมา
Je crois qu'une fois qu'on l'a entendu, on ne peut jamais l'oublier.
Okay, and sorry. Okay, and here is some of the artwork example that I used with another piece. Yeah, this is from Hindemith. So here is some references, and lastly, I would like to say that I know that we are all suffered from the pandemic situation, but now it's the time to embrace it and cherish our new possibility to create more meaningful performance to our audience. So, and that's it. So if you want to see the full work, please check out the QR code here. Thank you.
Well done, Sirapop. Thank you for sharing about your project. And it's very cool to see how you tell the story. It's the story that even I play music and it's new to me. So I'm sure it's interesting for anyone who get to see it for the first time. So I was wondering, you were saying how much should we know before we listen to music? So how much do you think is good?
This is like arguable and like how do I say? Sometimes we don't need to know anything, and sometimes we just need to know like what it's about or sometimes we need to dig it like a bit deeper, like where it's come from, where does the composer's inspiration comes from, like Cage, a lot of work from John Cage, like 4533 and many more, and you get it like contextually. Or sometimes you can design your own experience by like listening it at first pace and at first, or only listen to the piece like with the first time, and the second time you just read something and listen to it again, and you will get the different experience from before. And yeah, and the most important thing is for us, the musicians, we can design the way that online audience can observe the things, like we can choose the information for them, like to let them get some point that we want them to know.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great answer. And I have another follow-up question. You've already graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, we think it's okay to curate music online. It's okay to cut a 40-minute piece into a 5-minute piece or a 1-minute piece for online platforms. Is it acceptable to do that in real life? Can we do that?
Mostly we've done that like quite a lot of time, like when we choosing some aria from the opera, right? Like when the singers pick some like famous songs, or like some famous part, like Rachmaninoff second piano concerto, like bring only the melody and play. It is something like arrangement that happened with the thing, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I struggle with that myself, so I'm asking for your wisdom too, because I don't know what to do when it's like it's a 10-minute piece, but I only want to play 3 minutes. But do I cut the middle part out, or do I cut the ending out? And will people judge me because I'm not playing Beethoven as Beethoven?
I think it changed the way we perceive it, and that's interesting, right? Because we let the new experience to the audience, and that's it. That's not going to be like to be judged, right? And the most important thing is we have something to say. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's great. I think I agree. I think it's great that you think about your audience and what your audience is willing, or is sometimes not all the audiences can handle all the information we have to give. So we curate it, right? We choose what's important for them to hear. And you already said that in your presentation, which is very inspiring to me. So do you have any more to add?
So you can check out my podcast with Kesin. We talk about sort of this thing. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Pop. I would say that in the 3rd and 4th year, student will get the supervision from the student choose their own supervisor, and they get like at least 4 times supervision from the supervisor for each semester. And yeah, I think I have to thank all the teachers here that they are working so hard to put all the students into their recital. And I think the output of each student is really the reward of each teacher, of every teacher. Yes. And today we not only have we not only saying like from the very beginning to the end, but we also have a very special guest from PGVIM alumni. So they are Don Thaksin Warajan and Kawirat Saimik. So I will call them by nickname. So Don and Tintin. That's most people call him. Hi.
Yep. Ajahn Kok, can you please start my video? I can't start the video.
Okay, and I'm sorry everyone that we are running the time like quite late, not late
We're
than
going
expected.
overtime.
But please stay with us. So we have a last session here with very very interesting project they are working on, which is called the Bangkok Through Crusty Frames. And these two guys, Don and Tintin, are forming the band, right? It's called Pink Sky Orcas.
Pink Sky Orcas, yes.
Yep.
That's our band name.
Yep.
Okay.
Tintin is still.
Oh yes. Yeah. Now I can do it.
Okay.
Can you see me? Okay. Let me share the screen very quickly. I cannot. You cannot start screen share while. Okay.
Can you start sharing now?
Yeah, I can. Thank you. Share sun, keynote, share. Let's start.
Okay. Hi everyone. So I'm Dawn. That's Tintin, and we're Pink Sky Orcas. So you might be wondering, why is the name Pink Sky Orcas? It doesn't make sense, right? Why is this a band name? So basically, I like pink.
And I love the sky.
And we like orcas.
We like orcas. Yep.
Hence the name. Yeah. So so basically, why we make this band is to our aim is to just have fun playing music. Again, play whatever we want. To be silly, be stupid, try weird things. That sounded really bad. Without thinking too much about playing music, right? So, all right. So you know what? Here's what we made.
Yeah, you can find the full version of that in our YouTube, or actually, I think this piece is featured in the symposium virtual space as well.
Yeah, on Utopia. You can find it.
You can find it there.
It's somewhere.
So exactly. We made this, and then we realized that we actually were thinking a lot making this. So
a lot.
Not thinking would not really work. So
so basically, one day I stumbled upon an interesting program from BACC, right? And so BACC is the Bangkok Arts and Cultural Center. Right? So they have this program. It's amazing. They have an open call for artists and musicians, artists, dancers, basically anyone who has something to share with the world, right? And it's called Performative Art Project. And and that's our this one. So the theme of this year is Urban in Progress, which in Thai it has the word Bangkok in it somewhere, but Yeah. So if you can see on number 5, that's us right there. Yeah. So they're gonna have this amazing artists and performers have parallel shows going on along with the exhibition on the same theme that's going on around the same time.
Yeah, it was around that time that that 3rd and 4th year students that you heard were planning their projects, and we actually got to talk with some of them, and they inspire us a lot. Like all those projects that were talked about today. Congratulations, they were great. They were really amazing.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
Actually, you guys inspired us a lot, and that's why we kind of want to revisit this trains of thoughts and experience of structuring a show in this kind of way, structuring an experience for listeners in this kind of way.
Yeah. The thing is, at the very start, we didn't think about playing classical music that much at all. Actually, we just thought, okay, what do we want to do? What do we want to play? And at some point, we thought about playing Mo Lam, actually, but that's scratch because nobody, the two of us doesn't know how to play Mo Lam. Obviously, we are classically trained pianists. So what do? We resorted back to classical music that actually kind of fits the theme. So yeah.
We decided to use classical music to make different points on for example, the perception or misunderstanding of Bangkokian for classical music as being used as tool to differentiate social classes, and that some of people overvalue the vibrations of classical music, which is if you just look at the vibration it has in itself life, and both in the macro and micro time frame. Macro being the form of the composition used, and micro being the grain of sounds itself. And so we thought, okay, since the show, and we have to present this today, and we thought, okay, since the show hasn't happened.
Well, basically, how do you describe something that hasn't happened yet, right? So it's actually coincidentally, it's the same situation with Bangkok when we first started, right? When they first built 200 something years ago, they built the city. They hadn't finished yet, but they have the name. The name says that is a city of angels built by a god, containing heaven-like structures, architectures, and a bunch of treasures, which at the moment, Bangkok was a flat land, basically. so this name, it gives this kind of hope, right? It's a city of God. It's going to be great. It's going to be Mount Olympus. It's going to be Valhalla. It's going to be Atlantis, the Atlantis before before they got sunk into the bottom of the sea and nobody can find them anymore. Anyway, with hope comes beliefs, and this turns into myth, into something that held the hearts of the people. To elaborate, think of it as think of the northern rain calling ritual, as you can see on the bottom left of this screen. Right, it's a northeastern ritual from Thailand that actually has nothing to do with Bangkokians, but with the ridiculous amount of faith. People are drowning Bangkok figuratively in sea of faiths, myths, and personal beliefs. And at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, the rising of global temperature is also causing Bangkok to literally drown under the sea. So actually, in this part, it will be featuring a song titled Mermaid Feedback, our new song, which will be presented in this Friday evening in the concert. What time was it again?
I think it's 7:30, right?
On Friday, yes.
Yeah, the origins and destinations, the transitory phase, the concert.
Exactly.
Yeah. So from there, we reach city in reality, and we prepare a little sound. Let's play it.
สถานีต่อไปอโศกผู้โดยสารสามารถเปลี่ยนเส้นทางไปรถไฟฟ้ามาหาทุกคนได้ที่สถานี Next station อโศก Interchange with MRT
So from those hopes and myths and beliefs, predictions, we thought it would be good to look at the present. So from those hope and myths, we actually climb down Mount Purgatory into, well, city in reality. And we chose to present the pollutions that we are facing in Bangkok before COVID. Because the show was written before COVID, and we started with the Loi Krathong Festival because it links nicely from the hopes and myths session, because the Loi Krathong Festival was a festival that should be celebrating the goddess of water, but the festival itself is damaging the environment. And not only water pollution, we also talked about air pollution and noise pollution in other pieces that we composed.
Yeah. And then we thought, what's next? What after all that pollution and all that, what else is going on? And we thought about a certain brand of convenience store that's popping out like mushrooms all around the town, and they has this nice motive. You know, when you walk in, you hear dee-doo, and when you walk out, you hear dee-doo. You walk in again, dee-doo, and go on. So it's kind of like this, the ever powerful the growth of capitalism, and we thought, okay, what's the nice motive that could go along with its motive, with this convenience store sound. Exactly. Right. So Beethoven Fifth is a song that sounds a victory of Allied forces over the Axis. So here it kind of symbolized, not quite nicely, but it symbolized the triumphant of capitalism in modern day Bangkok. Yeah.
And then we also use another classical piece combined with a 12-tone section that we wrote to symbolize inequality and social class. But we are not going to tell you what it is because we don't want to spoil too much. You have to come to the show. From I'm sorry. But okay, from the theme of inequality, we looked at another aspect of inequality, which has been a part of our society for a long time. And while some choose to fight against it, some choose to fight for it. As they have a vision of a hero, whether that hero be a religious supernatural being, a literal god, a reincarnation of a god, a king, or a common man. That's why we chose to present this fifth movement of Messiaen's Quartet for the End of Time, which is essentially about the eternal of the word Jesus. But we presented it it's the fifth movement. Yeah, to present this idea of a particular hero in our own society that could also that actually what we meant to say is that this eternality of the words of hero, of people projecting the pictures of a messiah on someone, could also mean eternality of inequality.
So, well, that's a lot to take in. So, Bangkok sounds like an awful place to live in. So basically, I guess what we're trying to say is how to survive, right? But we've all been here, we've all been living here for however long we are alive, and it's just we're just trying to live with the beauty of fragility that we have in everyday life. But as a musician or as a citizen of Bangkok, we all have a duty in a way to push for solutions. And this is what we're trying to do. This is we doing our part as musicians. This is we trying to raise our voices, because we all have that voices that we can raise. We can speak our minds, and there's nothing wrong in doing that. And also, as a part of raising our voices, we're not just gonna raise only the voice of us as musicians. We're gonna raise the voice in other occupations as well, because we're gonna have 5 talks on 5 different shows. Yeah. So as you can see, there's 4 really big topics, right? So at the first one, we have Imagine City. We're gonna explore 2 sides of Imagine City. We're gonna be exploring the idea of City of Angels in today's perspective. We're inviting Ajahn Santi Lorashavi, who's a very great designer who worked with PGVIM for a long time. His team is actually the ones designing PYO posters, the symposium posters, and he's actually the one who designed the ACC logo as well. And the next, on the other side of Imagine City, we have Urban in Disbelief, which we will be talking about the myths, the realities, the beliefs of the people of Bangkok.
Yeah, and for City in Reality, like the music about pollution, we also have scientists, I believe. It is unconfirmed, but yes, we are trying to get scientists and another noise artist to talk about how we can find solutions, and we'll be in there as well as musicians, as scientists, and as a noise artist, and help people become more aware of this crisis that we are facing, and which is making the world a less happy place. And for Void Reality, we have a listening workshop hosted by our 2 dear friends, Yanini and Shamamat, who are also alumni from PGVIM. They are our very, very dear friend, and we've been through their workshop already, and it is very good.
And the last one is going to be us and the people who we've been working with to create this show. And we're gonna sit around and basically talk about everything that we've been through.
Yeah. And we're gonna have, I think, we're gonna have Ajahn Anotai talk to us about, as she was guiding us through the process of writing the show, and we're gonna have a representative, I think, from we are trying to have the representative from BACC to discuss another points of like of creating the show.
So by any means, if you are around in Bangkok by January. I believe it was 22 January.
Yeah, to
please come see our show.
Yep, we worked a lot. Yep, and
right.
if you want to contact us, then here's the thing. Yeah,
here are the things.
You want to hear more of our music? Yeah. There are not many right now, but we are trying to keep all the surprise for the show, and then after the show we will release for an album.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So thank you for listening, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pink Sky, Okra, Tintin, and Dawn, for your presentation, for sharing your work with us. It's really cool to see that you're disrupting the world with your music and sound. It's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a little question for you, as usual. I guess the first question is, how do you see your sound? Like, have you seen a different approach in your own perception of sound after working on this project? Yeah.
A lot, actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Don?
No,
did I
Tintin,
interrupt?
please, Tintin.
Okay, from my point, a lot actually, because some of the piece that we worked on, we were not really conscious about it, and when we listen to it after third, fourth, fifth listen, it's actually the sound itself actually changed a lot, and we keep working on it. Like the mermaid feedback, for example, at first it didn't sound like what it sounded like now in our heads, and now it's something else, and it actually gave me a lot of ideas to work on other stuff as well. Yeah, Don?
Actually, for me, at first it didn't change at all because me and Tintin, we improvise together a lot, and that's how we have these 3 songs that now is live on YouTube, actually. But when what changed is that when COVID strikes and we have to be separated, and I think I have to change the way I listen to sounds in order to keep on working in a way. And I think I have to rely more on equipments and trying to it's not the same trying to communicate in real time. So yeah, I guess it changed a lot. Like Tintin said, it's something that but yeah, on a sorry where was I?
No, yeah. Keep going. All right.
So like when at the end product, it was nothing like the first recording that came out at all. So yeah, it's really far from my imagination.
Yeah, both of your responses, they're contrasting, and that leads to the second question of the process that you have. So I guess Tintin, you were talking more about, you hear things differently, whereas Don, you were talking more about your process becomes different once COVID started. So I guess in general, how do you start a piece? How does the idea come? Is it like an idea, a philosophy, or does it start with the sound? Or an example. I'm sure it's diverse, but
for me, it's different for each piece. Like the first one is pure. It just comes. Do you remember how we did the Pink Sky? I think we were just sitting.
Honestly, we just look around the room and we see there's a Thai gong, and we see there's and we have a harp in the corner, and Tintin brought a MIDI keyboard to play synthesizers. So we just jam actually. And at some point I just start humming and it works.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, we have pieces like a phonophobia, which we hadn't said in the is for the noise pollution sections where it came from purely ideas, and we have no idea what the sound is in the beginning, and then we're gonna start working on it, and we just see how sounds go, and I think we're gonna use some gesture and combine some gesture to perform it, and that for that piece the sound comes later, I think.
Thank you for sharing, and it's great that you have the shared energy, right? It's like, sometimes one person has an idea and the other person carries it on, and it just becomes it becomes real, and it's fun to do it with another person too, right? So that's great.
Well, thank you for having us. We had so much fun.
We had so much fun.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Don and Tintin, for sharing your story with us. And yes, we are looking forward to your coming projects.
Yeah. January.
In January.
We hope. In January, we hope.
Oh, it's going to be online, right? Yeah.
The plan is still on site.
On site.
That we can play on site. But if the time really comes, nobody can say for sure for now. So
right.
Fingers crossed.
As I working in the evening yesterday, and while working I turn on your music, and I think it's not only two of you, right, who were playing. There are some other musicians also involved.
There's a song.
Piece,
there's a piece.
Friday interlude where we have our friends help. Boeing is one of them as well. She just presented. Boeing was on the piano for that.
And we have
Okay. Thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Ajahn Jacques Molo, do you have anything to say?
Thank you for this presentation. It's quite striking and wonderful to see this contextual studies, how they start and to what it brings when we see Tintin and Don making this afterwards. It's also quite exceptional to have this mainstream all along the studies for a high school, for a higher education. It's quite unusual, and you reach to do this. And with this presentation this morning, we can see that this concern is increasing and bringing to quite an astonishing result, because all the presentations were of wonderful quality due to each level they were presented in. So I just would like to have a word on the first presentation you gave on that contextual studies, because you spoke of body, brain, mind, emotional, and spirit, and beyond spirit, this individual path of each. And we had also a concern about the part of analysis and the part of the emotion. And of course, we first perceive music with the emotion. So that's why it's an answer to one question of Tanisa about can we split pieces? Can we just play some? And the main concern of all the presentations was how can we reach the public attention, the attention of the audience. And the part of the performer today is to feel what can an audience receive. And if only 6 minutes of a piece is possible for the audience, no need to play 7 minutes, just 6 minutes. And the problem is not, can we have the repertoire received by an audience? Is can we have music received by an audience today? That's the purpose. And we can see that all through the presentations, they are only speaking of music, not of repertoire. They are using the nature. They are using presentations, video, and parts of concertos, parts of repertoire, just to create a musical and artistic experience. So that is speaking first to the emotion part. the emotion you say is linked to the mind. And through that emotion, what I can say as a leading perspective is that through that emotion, you can understand how the brain leads the body. But if you go beyond that emotion, then you can reach the spirit. And what is at the initial of this emotion? What is the first and the most important initial for the human being? So this is the final step of the process. But what all they did this morning is to start with that emotion perception of art and music. And for me, this is quite unique for a higher music institution, higher education institution. And what is for me quite impressive is what you all did with that COVID crisis. Students, what they learned with the COVID crisis, they were not expected to learn, and what the institution reached to keep during that COVID crisis. And this is amazing. And this shows to me that PGVIM now reached its adult stage, adult step. I think that all of you as students, as educators, as institution, through that contextual studies, through that, what was the recital project at the beginning, it reached its really a mature stage. And this is very, very positive for now and for the future. So congratulations to all. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you อาจารย์ Jack Morrow นะครับ อาจารย์ Jack Morrow has been the our school advisor for the very beginning, and he has been working with the forming the PGVIM curriculum with Ajahn Anuthai and other colleagues, and yes, and from the very beginning. And I'm sorry, he is also the director of I cannot remember the name. Can you say?
Only for 1 month. I am stepping out in 1 month for the CEPIDEM Ronald. Yes.
Oh, okay. But anyway, thank you very much for your being with us today for the whole session, and also thank you to Ajahn Thanisa a lot for great questions and for being with us as well, and to all the panelists, all the presenters, and for all the attendees and students. So we are still keeping on with the event today, and I would say that at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m. we will have a next session. It is AYE Beyond Border Showcase. So I'm sending you in the chat here. So the link, and also you can go to the website here and see for more information. I think it's very interesting how they're performing ASEAN music, and in this period, of course, I think it's going to be online, and each group, each piece, they are having many musicians. So let's discover this at 7 p.m. And for the today's session, thank you very much again, and to all students. Actually, a student not only learning from teacher. I think as a teacher, we are learning a lot from students as well. So, and thank you, Jacques Moro, thank Ajahn Thanisa and everyone. Thank you very much.